Welcome back to my channel. I am sorry that I have been MIA. I am 2 months into my 4 month, probably most difficult rotation that I will do probably in my whole residency. And it's just been really, really busy, and I honestly haven't had the energy nor the motivation to film anything. But it is Monday, it's a dreary day. I got home at 6 and I was like, you know what? I just want to film something, and I want to give you guys kind of a big life update that happened 2 months ago now, that if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already known. But for those of you who don't, I got engaged. This is the ring, and happened at the end of February. I'll tell you guys the story, but it's to the guy who, if you've seen my videos, I've been dating for 8 years now, since high school or since college. So not so much a surprise, although I was extremely surprised. I knew it was coming because I actually designed this ring myself and picked it out. So I knew it was coming, but I didn't know when, and I was shocked and very unprepared. But I'll tell you guys the whole story, and then I'll kind of show you some pictures about the ring design process, because I am very happy with this ring. So yeah, if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. It's a little different than stuff I normally do, but I love this channel, and I want to cultivate a group that is very personal, and I thought I would share with you guys one of the most personal things about my life. So yeah, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's jump in. I'll start off by talking about kind of the engagement itself. It was Friday. It was my first night on this rotation, on the super busy rotation. I had been basically up all Thursday night because I was on call, and I'd slept for 3 hours, and we had plans to go bowling with my friend Amelia, and her boyfriend, and then some of their friends who we didn't really know. And I was wondering if I wanted to go because I was so exhausted, but I was I'll just go for a little bit and then come home and go to bed, because I was going up to Baltimore the next day to visit my med school friend. So I wanted to get a good night's rest. So I come home, I very quickly change, we go bowling, I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm just exhausted, literally am so tired, literally at one point get horizontal on the bench of the bowling alley, and I'm okay, it's time to go. And Amelia and her boyfriend live very close to us, so it's oh, we can drive you guys home, if you want to ride, and they're yeah, perfect. Literally had no idea this was happening. Literally offered them a ride. It was very organic. So we get in the car, we drive home, and we're driving down the street, and you have to turn left to go to Amelia and her boyfriend's apartment. But I don't think Mark didn't know that, and no one told him. So we were kind of driving down the street, and I was oh, go left, go left, go left. And he wasn't going left. And was pretending he missed it. But I was so tired that I didn't even register that. And my friend Amelia was oh, no, it's okay. I want to show Dave your house anyway. Can we come inside and see it? And I was yeah, sure. I was exhausted, but I was yeah, sure, you can come see it. And then they were going to walk home because it was really close. So they come inside, I'm kind of giving Dave a tour of the downstairs, and Mark's oh, I'm just gonna run to the bathroom really fast. So he goes upstairs, I'm giving them the tour of the downstairs, all this stuff, and then Mark is oh, do you guys wanna come see upstairs? He kind of yells from upstairs. So we walk upstairs, but it's really, really dark, and I'm what is happening? And then I see this flickering light. So I go and I walk over to our guest bedroom, which at this point is completely empty still, because we have no furniture. My roommate moved out and Mark moved in, and we had no furniture. So there's just some rose petals on the floor and then some candles. And he proposed there. It was very, very sweet. Amelia and Dave were only there, Amelia and her boyfriend. And it was funny because I've only met Dave twice. And so it was, he was involved in a very intimate portion of our lives, which was really funny, but he's great. And it was funny, Mark had only told my parents. He didn't tell my sister. He didn't tell any of my other best friends. He didn't tell his parents. So like no one knew this was happening except my parents. So we kind of tried to FaceTime a bunch of people, but it was like 11 p.m. at that point, and like no one knew this was happening. So no one picked up. So it was funny to tell them all the next day. And then the next day, like I didn't tell any of my med school friends, and then I drove up to Baltimore and surprised all of them, and it was just great. It was so fun to like call everyone and everything like that. Okay, so moving on to the ring. So this is the ring. I don't know if you can see it. On to the ring. This is the ring. It is an emerald cut emerald that is set in gold, and then 3 pear-shaped diamonds on either side that is set in silver, and then a gold band. And how I picked this was I always knew that I wanted something like a little different. My mom has a like sapphire, so she has a center cut, like a sapphire in the center and diamonds on each side, and I always loved like colorful stone. And I just like really wanted something different that like not everyone had. And I actually found a picture of the ring that was the inspiration for this ring on 1stDibs in 2017. I saved it to my phone in 2017. And I just, as soon as I saw that ring, I was like, that's the ring I want. Like, that's it. And so when it came time to kind of start thinking about rings, I knew I was not going to find anything like that. Like I knew I was going to have to find someone who would make a ring for me, because there was nothing like that I could just go like pick out at a jewelry store. So I kind of focused first and foremost on the emerald. And so I went to a couple different jewelry stores and looked at emeralds, and I actually found a ring. I'll insert pictures here. I actually found a ring that had this stone in the center that I was like, this is the type of stone I want. Like ideally being like, this is the stone I want. But like, I was like, oh, like that, he'll never get that. Like, this is like what I want. Like, this is the color I want. 'Cause I like that it's a little darker. Like I didn't want a really light emerald. I wanted something that was a little darker. So, I saw that, and like that's what I wanted, and I kind of like used that as my reference point. And then I made the guy at the jewelry store get that ring to like compare the other emeralds to, and then just ended up being like, this is what I want. Like if this is of any possibility, like this is the emerald I want. But I had to pick out others because that ring was not being sold as like separate stones. It was being sold as like a full ring, and it had different side stones, like a different setting. And so I picked like other options. I'll insert some pictures here of like different emeralds I looked at, but I was looking at like other emerald options, but like my eye just kept getting drawn to like the rich color of this one. And I just like absolutely loved it. So I told Mark that. And then kind of like based on kind of all the different emeralds, we picked out these side stones. It was really just like what size we wanted, because I already knew the shape and everything, but like what proportions. And then I picked out the band, and then I never saw it. Like after that, I never saw it all together. So even though I kind of knew the general idea, I had never seen it all together, and I had never tried it on all together, because you can't really do that when you're like just picking out individual stones. There's no way for them to kind of like fashion a setting so you can try it all on. So it was all a surprise, but I was so pleasantly surprised. I'm absolutely in love with it, and I'm just thrilled. So yeah, that is that. I am now kind of trying to plan a wedding, although again, I'm in the busiest time of work, so it's not really happening that much. It's more of a kind of like general idea, trying to find a date. I already know what venue I want, so just trying to find a date and like a band. Like those are the two most important things to me, and then everything else we can figure out later. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry it was a little bit off the beaten path. I am trying to get back into more medical content. So stay tuned. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.